12 News at 10 with Mark Curtis and Caribe Divine starts now.
Good evening. Up first tonight, Arizona's Attorney General has filed a lawsuit against a midwife after both a mother and her baby died under her care during a home birth. Thanks for joining us tonight for 12 News at 10. I'm Mark Curtis. Caribe has the night off. Sarah Kankowitz forfeited her license this summer and agreed not to practice as a midwife in Arizona for at least 15 years. But just 1 month after signing that agreement, the 12 News I-Team reported on concerns that she was continuing to practice. Now, 12 News journalist Bianca Bono has obtained the state's complaint, confirming our reporting.
Practicing midwifery without a license is a Class 6 felony in Arizona. A civil complaint has now been filed against Sarah Kankowitz, but legal sources tell me that doesn't mean a criminal complaint isn't coming too.
I hope the state does what the state's supposed to do.
Parker Terry has refused to stop fighting for justice after the death of his wife, Jordan, and newborn baby, Mac. The two died after a home birth in Safford went horribly wrong under the care of Sarah Kankowitz. She was a licensed non-nurse midwife, and after a state health department investigation following their deaths and other complaints, Kankowitz surrendered her license in June, agreeing to not work as a midwife for 15 years. But Parker Terry has long feared that wouldn't stop her from practicing.
That's basically what we ultimately knew was going to happen based on comments that Sarah has made in the past.
Just last month, the I-Team obtained documents that confirmed Terry's concerns. Kankowitz was claiming she's a monitress or a doula who has completed midwifery training, stating she chose to give back her state license. And it turns out DHS received those documents too, along with multiple complaints showing Kankowitz continued to take clients. State health investigators speaking with one of those clients, also finding a screenshot from her social media reading, "Ever wonder what happens in the state of Arizona when an unlicensed midwife tries to continue practice? Let's find out together." Kankowitz is now finding out and facing a lawsuit filed by Arizona's Attorney General.
I'm grateful that they're doing their job and that they're taking this seriously because it is a serious thing, and frankly, I have to live with it for the rest of my life.
The civil complaint asks the court to find that Kankowitz is violating the law and guilty of a Class 6 felony. Parker Terry hopes criminal charges come next.
There's laws that are made for certain reasons, right? It's to protect the public safety. And so hopefully that now the DHS has said that they've confirmed all the allegations and have evidence to come to that conclusion that, that the law works how it's supposed to work, and that we see some type of justice for Jordan and Mac and for our family that has suffered.
And in an answer to the complaint, Kankowitz says she plans to defend the allegations. Her website is no longer active, and she's due back in court on Friday. Bianca Bono, 12 News.
Bianca, thanks. Tonight, the FBI is getting involved in the search for a missing Arizona teen. 17-year-old Liliana Mungia was last seen August 5th at her home in Casablanca in the Gila River Indian community. Her father says she went to the Mesa airport and then flew to Iowa to meet an older man that she had met online. Lily is 5'2" with long black hair and brown eyes and has a mole on the left side of her neck. If you have any information on her whereabouts, you're asked to call the FBI's Phoenix office. We've put their contact information and also a way to submit an anonymous tip on our website, 12news.com. A woman accused of stealing more than $30,000 from a Valley school has turned herself into police. Scottsdale detectives say Nubia Gonzalez had just been elected treasurer of the Cocopah Middle School Association of Parents and Teachers back in April. This summer, she took control of the association's bank accounts. But then, last month, the group's president noticed that the savings accounts had been completely drained. So far, there's no word on what charges that she's facing. New tonight, an investigation is underway into claims of sexual harassment filed by the Tolleson Union School District superintendent against the district's governing board president. The new details were announced at tonight's board meeting. That's where we find 12 News journalist Chase Golightly, who was at that meeting. And Chase, what's the latest?
Well, Mark, I'll tell you, this comes days after the district held an emergency meeting about the superintendent, a man claiming to be sexually harassed by his female colleague. Now, at that meeting, the board just discussed the superintendent's position at the district. A crowd of people gathered Friday to support Tolleson Union High School District Superintendent Jeremy Calles.
Everyone was on the same page of we got to get behind Jeremy.
Calles claims Dr. Elda Luna Najera, the district's governing board president and appointed Arizona House member, had sexually harassed him for months.
I made it clear that the intentions were unwelcomed, and I have since then come under retaliation.
He believes the board was trying to get rid of him. Then, just a few days after he submitted the harassment claim, an emergency meeting was held to discuss his future with the district. It ended with Calles remaining as superintendent with cheers from the crowd. Now on Tuesday, during the district's regularly scheduled meeting, Calles sat just a few feet away from his accused abuser. During public comment, only one person, Martha Smith, spoke in support of the superintendent.
You know, it's unfortunate. I really think that it's a big problem.
Given the crowd on Friday, she thought more would speak up. At the same time, she's relieved Calles still has his job.
For me, that would just be heartbreaking.
Then at the very end of the meeting, board member Dr. Kino Flores addressed the allegations, announcing a third-party investigation into them has begun.
To consider all information available and get all facts. Only then will we take action.
Calles declined to comment Tuesday night. And when we tried to speak with Luna Najera, she walked out the back door. Is there any way we can ask you just a couple questions, just an official statement? Got into her truck. Anything you want to say about these allegations against you? And closed her door without saying a word. Now, in his statement, Dr. Flores said that he wanted to clarify that Friday's emergency meeting was in no way to terminate the superintendent, despite what the superintendent was claiming that that's what that meeting was all about. And even when you look at the agenda item, it does say that the whole discussion was about his employment with the district. We'll be sure to keep you updated as this investigation develops. For now, we're live in Tolleson tonight. Chase Golightly, 12 News.
Boy, what a story that is. Chase, thanks. Now to our weather. Meteorologist Lindsay Riley is here with your weather impact forecast. Linz, it looks like we're trading the humidity for some more heat.
We are, and storm chances as that humidity drops will also drop, but it's again going to be replaced with high heat. We're back into the 110s and even 110 plus range later this week. Radar now pretty quiet, just a few lingering showers up across northeastern Arizona along the Navajo Nation, but skies have cleared also, as you can see from the satellite image. Here's our exclusive 12 News monsoon meter. Much lower numbers heading into the day tomorrow, even for the high country. A 1 just signals a stray storm chance, mostly dry. And in the valley and western Arizona, we can expect a dry day. We're actually looking at a string of dry days. Storm chances will start to go up again by the weekend. As far as the next 6 hours, temperatures tonight slowly dropping through the 90s. Tomorrow, highs will be right around 108, and they'll only go up from there. Mark?
Okay, Linz, thanks. The trial for the man accused of murdering Lee Rice and then zip tying his body and stuffing it into a barrel continued today. Alfredo Gutierrez is charged with second-degree murder, kidnapping, and aggravated assault. The barrel containing Rice's body was found inside the guest room where Gutierrez was staying. Today, the state called multiple Phoenix police employees to the stand, including a forensic DNA analyst and the agent who oversaw the investigation. Gutierrez's defense attorney honed in on the DNA evidence, noting that while many of the samples detected Rice's DNA, none of the results linked Gutierrez to the crime.
You're the case agent. You reviewed all the material. Did you find any DNA on any piece of evidence that links Alfredo Gutierrez to the crime of killing Lee Rice?
I do not believe so.
Rice was killed in 2020, and it's taken years to get to trial because the state's key witness had been deported. Now that witness has been found and is expected to testify next week. New at 10, the town of Gilbert is looking to create a new center to support crime victims. Town officials hosted a community open house today as they continue to finalize plans for what's being called Gilbert's Advocacy Center. It'll be a first for the town, offering things like crisis intervention, medical services, counseling and therapy, as well as prevention and education programs to assist victims.
We want to provide wraparound services that helps them move beyond
their victimization. Part of that will be a multidisciplinary team working together, which will include forensic therapists and family advocates. And so the key is that we don't want to leave that victim alone afterwards.
Police Chief Michael Solberg says the proposal will go to the town council sometime this fall with the goal of starting construction early next year. New at 10, a Queen Creek Unified School District board member is being called out by district employees for social media posts they say are offensive. 12 News journalist Gabriella Becerra is in Queen Creek with what action employees want to see.
Personally, I'd like to see him take accountability for this and apologize. As a board member, he needs to do better.
A Queen Creek principal, teachers, staff, and parents are going before the school board, demanding action be taken against board member James Knox for posts he shared on social media.
We must commit to fostering a positive and inclusive, respectful learning environment for our students, and that starts with the behavior at the top.
These women are referring to posts previously shared on Knox's personal Facebook page, where he publicly identifies with QCUSD School Board. The posts that have since been deleted or made private made crude references to Vice President Kamala Harris and diverse communities.
It's offensive to think that this is the message that somebody who oversees our district is sending out there to our students and our staff.
The district's social media policy prohibits employees from posting derogatory statements or sexually suggestive postings. The policy does not apply to school board members who are elected officials.
There's no consistency in enforcing these standards and setting a clear example by maintaining credibility in a governing body.
Knox tells me he shouldn't be attacked for posts he shared on his personal page.
I'm not going to hide from who I am. I'm not going to hide that I can be sarcastic. I can have a good sense of humor. I can have a bad sense of humor. But, it's just what it is.
Adding anyone who takes offense doesn't have to vote for him.
I would much rather have them join me and focus on the areas in our district that need improvement, such as raising our assessment scores, improving and lowering class ratios, improving the relationship between the administration and the teachers, and getting teachers the resources they need so they can effectively teach our students. That's much more important than a meme that might offend them.
Knox was elected in 2022. His term is up at the end of 2026. In Queen Creek, Gabriella Becerra, 12 News.
All right, Gabby, thanks.